What's up, guys? So you have all made it to the last week of Design 101, and yeah, so the course is basically completed. Um, so what I would be going through this week is I would be giving you guys an intro to kind of like UX design process and how that affects your designs. And how you should think about it moving forward. Also, I would be touching up this specific work just to show you guys some couple of mistakes some of you still made in your designs. Now, this design looks really cool, but there's so many issues with it. So let's just dive right into this. Um, on the UX stuff and process, I would send a voice note to the WhatsApp group. So I may not talk about that in this video, or I may. So it depends. I may talk about it and do the design at the same time. So let's just dive right into it. So yeah, this design, the first thing I would do is let's look at the grid of this work. So put it on. So the one mistake a lot of you have made in your work is this, right? You have failed to realize that this is a web page. Now, there's one thing that we didn't really go into in this course, but on other courses we would, which is how to prototype your work. So if you click on this present button, especially if you have clicked on this, right, it would load a page that would kind of give you an idea of how your work would look like on a website. So as you can see, this is how this work would look like on a website. Now, it looks big like this because I put this to 100, but if you load yours, it should look like this. I think it should look like this at first. So what you would do is come up here, you would see like fits, and just make it display full size. So as you can see, this is how this site would look if it was a website. Now there's so many issues with this, right? As you can see, all these texts are way too big, right? All these things are way too like big, and the design just doesn't have space or room to breathe. So let's make some what's it called, changes to design. Now the really cool thing about opening your design in this page is that once you open it here, any change you make here reflects here. At times it wouldn't reflect, so you may have to like refresh the page, but ideally most of the changes you make here would reflect. So like if I move this like away, see, it's no longer there. So ideally a lot of things you change would also change there. So the first thing is the text sizes. You cannot have a text that is 35 pixels, or it's too big, it's way too big. So let's start with now. Oh wow, I may not be able to edit this design because I don't have the font. Oh wow, this is a problem now. Wow, I don't have the fonts that this guy used, so I will change the fonts. I'll change the font to my trusty Montserrat. So the font has been changed, so I'm just going to reduce the size now to about this size. Let's just use this. I'm going to delete or just take this guy out, and we're going to come all the way here. Now this is way too big as well, so we're going to change this to Montserrat. You can use whatever font you used for your work. I choose to use this font because it's a pretty clean font. So we're going to reduce the size of this guy drastically as well. So this guy is what size? 23. Let's make this guy a little bit, this guy will be like that size. So we're going to reduce the button again. So you can see how like a lot of things were designed, but they're just designed too big. If you guys may have paid attention, I may have told some of you to make sure your design is at the right scale. This is what I mean by the right scale. In case some of you were like, oh, I don't understand what this guy means. So yeah, so let's, as you can see, right, there's a lot more room to breathe. This is even still a little bit big, so let's make it only 2. We're going to make the button fill just 2 rows. So like this. So let's just say we're happy with that, even though I'm not, like I explained to you guys, everything I do in the YouTube, right, if I was doing a real work, I would have spent a lot more time making sure everything here is the way I want it to be. But since I don't want to waste your time, and this is a YouTube and I want it to be quick, so I'm trying my best to not waste your time. So another mistake a lot of you have made is this, right? This layout or the text box helps your tool know how to align your text. Ideally, you shouldn't stretch your text box ever. Like your text box should be the size of your text. It helps your tool know how to position it and how far away it is. So this tool now feels like it thinks that this text needs to occupy this space, whereas the text just needs like a text space. So make sure when you click on your text, you don't mess with the size of the text box, because that would mess up your design. So let's say like I explained to you guys, if this was a real work, and I spent a lot of, you can see how I took my time to make sure, if you look, the amount of space in between here and here is 23. It's the same thing. If you move it so you see it's 23. This is what I mean by taking your time to make sure that your work is aligned properly. So you can see how I'm making sure everything's aligned. So you can see everything is 23. So I think this is a little bit off. So you can see everything now is 23. Let's zoom out a bit. Let's see how it looks here. So this helps, having your design open in this page helps, because it helps you, visualize kind of how the design looks, so you can know the things you want to change, the things you don't want to change. Now, although I'm not happy with the way this looks, I'm actually not, but it's okay, I guess. So this text box is giving me issue. So you guys should make sure your text boxes are not stretched like that, please. They should be so yeah, so let's just take this and this. So let's just say I want to do that now. So even as a whole, I'm not happy with the too much effects, but let's just say I'm happy with the way this looks. Next thing is the illustration. It's too huge. It's too huge. So let's say we have this here like this, then this text too huge as well. Let's reduce the size. It's like here, push it down a bit. Button here is too big. I'm gonna just take that out and replace it with this guy. Since this guy is like the adequate size, I guess I want it to be. So duplicated it, group. So let's put that here. Let's zoom out and see how that looks. So we can go back here to see how it looks. As you can see, there's way more space, right? Like your eyes can like admire the design now. Let's move these guys up a bit. We can make them a little bit bigger, but I think that's okay. So yeah, so if this has been done, obviously this will have to reduce a bit. So let's reduce this size a little bit. So it's reduced. So I think every other thing with the design, I don't have any issue with it, but what I basically wanted to show you guys is how you have to make your design a lot more clean, especially with the sizes, like knowing how big a thing actually is. Like at times a lot of you made your menus fill up the whole page. One thing that helps you whenever you're doing your design is don't ever design from your head. You can literally go to a website that looks like what you want to design and look at their menu. Why is their menu like that? Like what size they use for their fonts, you know? So I sent you guys a mail. One thing I want you guys to do for your assignment is an assignment supposed to do for an Instagram post. So you are to obviously come here, social media, Instagram post, create that. So the post is for you to show off your design. Now your entire design would not fit into this post, right? Obviously. So what you are supposed to do is now there's a slight issue. You may not be able to resize your post, like your overall design, but you can resize the Instagram post. But if you hold shift, it will retain the square. So what I want you guys to do is basically like create an Instagram post where you show your designs. Now the way I'm doing it, it's not the way you have to do it, but then don't mind me, like this is actually a very wrong way to do this, but a very wrong way to do it actually. But ideally, I want you guys to create like an Instagram post like this, that shows your design work. So change the background color to, I don't know, let's choose one color in the design. We can use this. We can now say, wow, this actually looks really nice. So yeah, you can share your work like this on Instagram. Tag us, we would repost most of the best works. You can make it just the, now one thing I may do is actually reduce, I don't know if this will affect the entire design. Let me see here. So reduce it so you can just have just the landing page, and maybe any other extra you feel like you want to add. But for this work, since like I designed, I just touched the landing page, let's say I want to just show this as like, oh, a landing page. So you can have your work like this and say, oh, this is your design 101 website, and you can share it on Instagram and tag us. I will repost the best ones. So yeah, that's basically all for this week. Then you're supposed to write a Medium post and share your design 101 story. So we'd love to read that, read about your experience. So yeah, I expect you guys to like share your works on social media and tag us, and say anything nice if you want to say about the course. But yeah, that'll be all for now. See you guys later. If you have any questions, send me a message, and bye.